In today's video, we will tell you about the most terrifying horror story ever heard in Lake House. Without further ado, let's begin. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We have a new story for you all today that is sure to terrify you. Let's get into it. The year was 2016, when an unnamed narrator moved to a beautiful home near a lake with his family. The house was huge, spanning over 4,300 square feet of living space. It had 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. However, there was one small problem. Their new home had previously been the site of a brutal murder-suicide. In fact, the previous owner, George Maverick, had killed his entire family before taking his own life. Despite this dark history, the narrator and his family decided to move in anyway. They were excited to start fresh in their new home. However, they soon realized that the home was not just haunted by the ghosts of the Maverick family, but also by the ghost of a little girl who had drowned in the lake years ago. The narrator and his family began to experience strange phenomena, including moving objects, shaking beds, whispering voices, shaking pictures, and lights turning off and on by themselves. These incidents occurred mostly at night and always seemed to be happening in the rooms where the children slept. One day, the narrator's wife, Marianne, found some old photos of the Maverick family, including a picture of the family's young daughter. She couldn't help but feel a sense of dread knowing that the little girl's ghost was haunting their home. The narrator, however, tried to brush off these concerns, believing that there was a logical explanation for everything. He told his wife not to worry and that they should focus on enjoying their beautiful new home. But as time went on, the paranormal activity in the house became more intense. One night, the narrator was awoken by the sound of a rocking chair. He got out of bed to investigate and found that the rocking chair in the corner of the room was moving by itself. He tried to convince himself that it was just the wind, but he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. As the days passed, the narrator and his family continued to experience strange and terrifying phenomena. One evening, they were sitting down to dinner when the lights suddenly went out. When they lit some candles, they saw the distinct shadow of a little girl standing in the doorway. Startled, they quickly blew out the candles and waited for the power to come back on. When the lights flickered back on, the little girl was gone. Another time, the narrator's son went missing for several hours. He had been playing outside, and the family had even checked the local police report to make sure he wasn't involved in any suspicious activity. But it turned out that the boy had simply wandered into the attic and gotten stuck. When the narrator went up to the attic to check on him, he found that the door had been locked from the inside, but he had no memory of doing so. It was at this point that the narrator realized that their home was truly haunted and that the ghost of the little girl was trying to communicate with them. Determined to uncover the mystery of her death, he began researching the history of the house. He discovered that the little girl's name was Mary Maverick, and she had drowned in the lake on the property many years ago. Her father, George, had built a boathouse on the lake as a memorial to her. And now he spent all his time alone in the boathouse, refusing to speak to anyone. One day, Mary's mother had gone to the boathouse to check on her husband, only to find him dead with a gunshot wound to the head and a note confessing to killing his entire family before taking his own life. To honor Mary's memory, the narrator decided to renovate the boathouse and turn it into a place where his children could play. He hoped that this would bring some happiness to the property and lay the restless spirits of the Maverick family to rest. However, as he was working on the boathouse, he began to experience strange phenomena. One day, he was using a chainsaw to remove a section of the roof when he heard the sound of a woman screaming. He stopped working and listened intently, but the sound was gone. He shrugged off the incident and continued working until he heard it again, louder this time. He followed the sound to a bedroom in the house where he found his wife standing by the bed. Startled, he asked what had happened, and she told him that she had heard a loud bang and then saw the closet door open slightly. When she called out to him, the door slammed shut. The narrator and his wife decided to ignore the incident and try to focus on completing the boathouse renovations. But as the weeks went by, the paranormal activity in the house continued to intensify. One day, while working on the roof of the boathouse, the narrator noticed a set of children's shoes lying in the grass below. He climbed down the ladder and picked them up, feeling a sense of sadness and despair. He took the shoes inside and placed them on the fireplace mantel, hoping that the ghost of Mary would finally find peace. As the sun began to set, the narrator and his family gathered around the fireplace to share stories and laughter. But the joy was short-lived. Suddenly, the temperature in the room dropped dramatically and the flames in the fireplace went out. A cold wind swept through the room, and the children's shoes flew off the mantel and shattered on the floor. Terrified, the family huddled together as they heard the sound of footsteps approaching them. They called out for help, but no one answered. Just when they thought the nightmare was over, the footsteps stopped. The silence was deafening, and the family remained frozen in fear until the power suddenly went out, plunging them into darkness. They ran out of the house and into the darkness, not daring to look back. As they ran, they heard the sound of a woman's voice whispering their names. They kept running until they reached the safety of their car and then drove away as fast as they could. The next morning, they returned to the house to find that the front door had been smashed open and the children's shoes were lying in the middle of the floor. They immediately called the police and told them about the strange occurrences in the house. But when the officers arrived, they found no evidence of any crime or paranormal activity. Desperate to escape the terror of their new home, the family packed their things and left without even bothering to find new accommodations. They never looked back, and to this day the house remains abandoned, a creepy reminder of the tragic events that unfolded within its walls. And with that, we have reached the end of another terrifying tale from X-Files. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, and we invite you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Each week we bring you the creepiest and most spine-chilling stories that are sure to leave you on the edge of your seat. So don't miss out on the latest episodes. If you want to hear more stories like these, we encourage you to stay tuned for more updates. We have more videos in store that will keep you up at night. Now, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Until next time, may your nights be filled with sweet dreams, and may you never encounter anything too frightening under your bed or in your closet.